Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everywhere you are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new channel that we'll be launching today. Yeah, the channel is built to be educational, relevant for you, to connect with your daily life. This is not just about media platform. Yeah, in this channel here, we'll be talking about social, political, and economic development alongside sport and culture, as well as other entertainment. Our purpose is very simple, ambitious as well. We just want to bring you together with us to live together, together as a social, do a lot of things together, discuss, interact. This channel will not be like any other channel. This is yours. You are here to help us to make it grow. You are here to enjoy it with us. Before we start, I would like to present myself. I'm not alone. You can see my co-host. She is over there. She too, she will present herself. But my name is Shakor. I live in Norway. I hold a bachelor degree in political science and human rights and a master degree in social science. So my co-host, you can present yourself.
Thank you, Shakor. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Lucy. I am from Kenya. I am a barrister. I hold a bachelor's degree in law, a master's degrees of international affairs, concentrating in peace and conflict studies. And I love matters international affairs and politics. And this is what we'll be mainly interacting with you here, as well as all other subjects that my friend Shakor has spoken about. And I'm so excited. We'll be sharing knowledge with you. You will be sharing your knowledge with us. Yeah, and we will grow in terms of knowledge. Welcome.
Exactly. That is what we really want. And that was very good and brief introduction. So thank you so much. We're hearing a lot about Venezuela these days. So before we even go in to talk about Venezuela, I would love to tell a little bit about where Venezuela is located, because not everybody that will see this video will know exactly where is Venezuela. Venezuela is located in South America, in a border to Colombia to the west, Brazil to the north, to the south, and Guyana to the east. The name Venezuela is not just Venezuela, it's about geopolitics, and that is make it very interesting. There's a lot of stakeholder here. So that is the reason the name has been aired this recently. And that is the reason I would love that my co-host, Lucy, to talk a little bit about why Venezuela this day.
Yes, we've heard a lot about Venezuela of late in the news, and more recently, as of yesterday in the morning, actually before dawn, there was an operation by the U.S. Which launched airstrikes in the capital of Venezuela, Caracas, and the president. Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores were captured and transported to the U.S. This capture is seemingly like an abduction because when one sovereign country goes into another sovereign country and captures someone to go and allegedly answer charges in their country, they have violated very many laws. That is first of all. Second is that we have seen that rhetoric of the Trump administration saying that the regime of Nicolas Maduro is the one responsible for supplying drugs into the U.S. More so, the Trump administration is blaming Nicolas Maduro administration for the supply of fentanyl in the U.S. The evidence about this drug supply, of course, the U.S. has not presented it. Whether they have it or not, your guess is as good as mine. And they have been presenting this intervention as a way of bringing democracy to or trying to democratize Venezuela.
If I can hold on. If I can ask you about that,
Yes.
is it about
Yes.
is about the democracy, or is about some other thing, or is something bigger than democracy itself?
Well, my personal opinion is that it's more than democracy. It's not about democracy because one, we know or we have seen the backsliding of the U.S. in terms of democracy, and actually or arguably, the U.S. is slipping into authoritarianism. This is very clear by all the acts and all the policies which are being implemented by the Trump regime. So when they speak about democracy while themselves are not going far away from democracy, it leaves a lot to be desired. So it's not about democracy. There is very many other underlying issues which don't relate to democracy.
Okay.
And one of it is oil, the economic the economic interest of the US.
Which oil does Venezuela get?
Well, according to my research and according to what I know, is that Venezuela holds 17% of the global reserve of crude oil, meaning that it has the largest reserve of crude oil. That is, it is the first country in terms of quantity of crude oil reserves in the world.
So bigger than Saudi Arabia.
Bigger than all the other countries which have oil, including Norway. Norway can't even be seen in the past
country.
5 countries. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is not about democracy. It's about something. It's about oil. It's about petroleum money, petroleum dollar. So yeah, so it's good that we know. So because we have seen US fighting to democratize a lot of countries. Recent years, for example, Libya, Iraq, and maybe Syria, or other country.
Yeah.
Suffer about the same. But here, President Trump saying it clearly that oil that have been taken from them, they have to take it back. So what do you think about that?
Well, the history about the oil and why it is a thorn under the skin of the U.S. stems from a long time. The President Andre, forgetting the other name, the second name, when in the 1920s, Venezuela discovered their oil reserves, enabled the country to develop. And then it implemented policies later on, which led to the pulling back of these external oil explorers and nationalizing its oil production. So one of the key things which the President Andre did was that he implemented a policy whereby 60% of the ownership of the oil production, or the country or the companies which are producing the oil or drilling the oil, 60% of the ownership should be owned by Venezuelan. So, well, that will not augur very well with most of these multinational companies, especially because most of them are private companies. We have the likes of ExxonMobil, we have the likes of Standard Oil, and many other Dutch companies which were there. So when that act of determining the ownership and then later on nationalizing the oil production, because later on there was the Venezuela national, I don't know the name in Spanish, but it translates to the National Oil Company of Venezuela, which has now the mandate of drilling all the oils and running the production of the oil Venezuela. So most of these countries, including the private companies, would have to go through this national company if they need to get the license to drill or to produce oil and export oil from Venezuela. And the thing about private companies or other external companies being controlled by so to speak, third world country, it does not augur very well, because where money where money is in question, these companies don't trust the Venezuela National Oil Company to manage the money well, and also because they want to keep all the profit for themselves when they're exploiting oil, and keeping all the profits does not benefit Venezuela, because the thing is that all the natural resources which are found in Venezuela or in any other countries, any natural resource which is found in any other country, it is resource of that country and should be for the benefit of the people, the nationals of that country. But what you find in now this discourse, which of oil, is that most of these multinational companies want to come to any country, especially the third world countries, exploit and everything, and exploit all and export the profits. So what is the benefit of having such a resource, while if it is not benefiting the person where that resource is found? So my personal opinion, that is the basis or the underlying issue, which has been amplified by other issues, that is politics and personal interest. Now it has blown up to this, because I believe the oil belongs to Venezuela. If you hear a statement where President Trump says that this oil belongs to America, that is not correct. It belongs to Venezuela. Second, those American companies which were in Venezuela before the change of policies and nationalization of oil production in Venezuela were all compensated. They were actually compensated more than they're supposed to compensate. And most of them, because they did not want to have 60% local control, like 60% ownership by Venezuelan companies or Venezuelan nationals, they chose to exit. And when they were exiting, they were all compensated for all the investment they had done in the oil drilling. And besides that, they had been taking all the profit before the nationalization. So why is Trump saying that all this oil belongs to America, all the assets belongs to America? No.
So
If it's about
I think,
compensation.
yeah, I'm sorry for breaking you down, but I think it's just like Trump action is much more real politic, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, he just see countries as they are fighting for their own interests. So he sees Venezuela as his interest to protect his interest, his backyard. I think that brings us to Monroe Doctrine. What do you know about Monroe Doctrine? Can you explain it to our people here to hear it?
Well, Monroe Doctrines, the name itself stems from President James Monroe. During the 1800s, was very stern and came out strong to object the influence of European countries in the Latin American countries, Venezuela included. During that time, most of these Latin American countries were coming out of colonialization or imperialist regimes, and they were trying to set up their government systems. And then you found these European countries wanted to influence how these countries, or I would say most of these colonialist countries, wanted to influence how these governments in the Latin American countries would be set up, how will be run, and all that. So Monroe came out strongly to object and to stamp the influence of America in the Western Hemisphere, saying that they are the ones who will be overseeing this, acting like the big brother to these to these Latin American countries. And you know what comes with control and overseeing is just a subtle way of saying that, wait, we are the ones who are politely taking over from you, like
Yeah,
colonizing this country.
yeah. But
Yes. So,
exactly, that is exactly what Trump have said now. He was saying that U.S. will determine how Venezuela will be run, who will be running it. So, do you think it is right that another country coming and arresting another country leader and then bring, jail the person? Yeah, we saw President Maduro yesterday. He was brought to the US, and then I think he will be charged for drug trafficking and stuff like that. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about war institution, international law? What do you think about things like that?
first, about whether I think it is right for one country to invade another and come and take one person, their leader, of course, and go and try them in another country. That is not right. It violates the state's integrity. And if we step back a bit, so at the justification of why Trump and his administration has decided to take this step, they are saying one, there is narco-terrorism. That is, Maduro and his government are supplying drugs or trafficking drugs into the US, and these drugs are ruining the lives of very many people, including the young people. And he came out strongly. Trump came out strongly saying that these drugs ruining lives can be justified that way. But the thing is that when a president of a country goes to another country, enters another sovereign country, because Venezuela is a sovereign country, US is a sovereign country. When US enters a sovereign country, invades militarily and kills people in this invasion on the allegation of drug issues, so that it can take this person to go and try them in their country. One, they have violated the sovereignty of Venezuela. Second, they are
And that is
interfering with the country.
break of the United Nations
Yes,
law.
yeah, it's a violation of Section 2 of the United Nations Charter. And the other thing behind this allegation of narco terrorism is aspect of immigration, mass immigration, because also Trump says that the Maduro government was also involved in smuggling of people and trafficking people into the US. But if you look closely into the reasons why there's been mass migration into the US, while we can't substantiate the aspects of drug trafficking by the Maduro government because we don't have evidence, and while we can't, or I can't speak about the smuggling of people because, of course, I don't have evidence whether he was involved in that. What I know for a fact is that Venezuela, since the times of Hugo Chavez, when he came into power, that is the previous president before Maduro, Venezuela has been consistently under sanctions, not only by the US, but by all the countries, including the European Union countries. So what this does, economic sanctions, kills the economy. You know, Venezuela is what we would call a petrodollar state.
What do you mean by that?
It's about 90% of its economy depended on the profits it got from its sale or its export of this petroleum, this crude oil that they have. And remember what we mentioned, it has the biggest reserve of crude oil globally. So when the sanctions were put in place,
Yeah.
and the net effect of these sanctions is that no country, including private companies from all these countries, could not trade with Venezuela. What this does is that, yes, imagine you have an item which you have in surplus, but you can't sell it to anyone. And oil is not something that you can eat.
If I can break it there. So they
Yes.
put sanction, but
Yeah.
still sanction could not break them down. So that is the reason now they have to go militarily.
Yes, yes. Sanctions have been there for a very long time, and these sanctions have affected the economy. And the net effect is that they affect the people, because if you are not able to economically survive in your country, you will try to move to any other country that offers a bit of opportunity. And that is what happened with this issue about mass migration. And that's why there is that other allegation that Maduro is smuggling people or trafficking people, very many people, into the US. And it is true that the past 5 years, millions of Venezuelans have left their country to seek safety and also to seek better life in other country, more so the US, because it's the nearest first world countries. Of course, they have moved into the neighboring country in Latin America, but it not as many as they have moved into the US.
I have a two question. Yeah, the first one is if you can make very short summarize of what we have been talking about now, that will be very good.
A short summary is that yes, there's been a military intervention or attack in Caracas. The president of Venezuela, Caracas is the capital of Venezuela. The president of Venezuela and his wife have been abducted. I choose to stick by abduction because that is what it is literally, and taken to US apparently to answer charges which the US have brought against him, and those charges are of narco-terrorism and people smuggling. And besides that, there was also another allegation that the 2024 elections were not free and fair, and the Venezuela president rigged them. While those allegations have been substantiated, or there is evidence to that, the intervention, the military intervention by the U.S. does not warrant them to attack and go into Venezuela and claim that now it is them, the U.S., who will be controlling Venezuela, and more so controlling the oil business of Venezuela, because that statement that they are controlling the oil business tells you why they actually went there or intervened. And it's not really about trafficking of drugs and people and redemocratizing Venezuela.
Thank you so much. We have 4 minutes now. So
In those 4 minutes, you can give us your take about this military
the whole
intervention.
situation. What I'm thinking about is just like this. For the first, I'm thinking that that is the end of international institution, international law. So it just like go back to a sauvage society in pre-civic world, where the strongest men could rule. So that is exactly what we have now. Because United Nations don't want a sovereign country to attack another sovereign country, especially to abduct one leader and then brought to the justice to another country. and this is not the first time United States doing it, and it will not stop them doing it. And the second thing, what I'm seeing here is just like Trump have taken Maduro and his wife to the United States, but the government stay running. Can government stand and fight, or can they submit? That will be very nice to see. And the thirdly, what I can say here, the whole world are scared now. Donald Trump talking about Greenland. They have sent their special envoy to Greenland. So I believe in near future they will be taking over Greenland, and Denmark will not do nothing. They can do nothing. They cannot fight. And we thank you for watching our video, and more of this type of video will come. We hope that you will subscribe, and then this is our first video. Promise we will be better. We will be better than this. We have a lot to share with you, and we have a lot to talk about. So you can be invited if you is one of our loyal viewer. So thank you for the video. And my friend, can you say your last word?
Thank you for tuning in. Definitely, this is not the end of our discussion. So we invite you to tune in again, and bye-bye.
Bye.